Well, welcome everyone. Welcome to The Awakening Meditation with Dr. Charlie Doverfield. I am Dr. Charlie Doverfield, and we are broadcasting to you live from the Center for Awakening. And we just want to give a big welcome to everyone in our audience from the East Coast to the West Coast, and yes, even some on the Southern coasts. With me, I have my pupil in training, Portland Barry. Portland, say hello.
Hello, everyone. Father, thank you so much for having me on today. Thank you. And also our friends on the North Coast.
Yes, did I forget to mention them again? I always do that. Once again, we're glad to welcome all that are listening. We are, again, coming to you live from the Center for Awakening here. And to get into our meditation today, we want to present our goal, which is to become an awoken one. We're all about the awakening here with our meditation with me, Dr. Charlie Doverfield. And what we want to do is move beyond our human minds and move to an awakened state that allows us to become more than just our physical presence, but become something that goes beyond what is usually known as humanly possible. Portland?
That's right. Father, my thought is this. I'm so tired of living in my head. I want to live in a different realm. There's so many different things that I could become. I could become an angel, or a cloud, or an animal, or a piece of dust. And Father, what Father's told me, and he can teach all of you for a nominal cost, is that I am energy, and energy can be relocated. Can't it? Isn't that right, Father?
That is so true. You know, here at the Awakening, we believe that we are not just a physical form, but we are energy. Just like the electrons that course through our computers and our electronics, just like the electrons that come in waves from stars billions of light years away, we can become energy.
And Father, those electrons, they're not just in the computers, but they're also in everything, like in non-electronic things, like my wall and my desk, like wood. Everything's got electrons and everything has an energy. And Father has told me that everything has a pulse, but I'm still trying to figure out what that pulse means. Father, what does a pulse mean for me?
Here at the Awakening, the pulse is just a small portion of what we hope to one day become. You see, here at the Awakening, the pulse is just one element of becoming non-human, becoming fully in a different realm, and it's not necessarily a spiritual realm, it's not necessarily just an electronic realm, it's a realm that is above all others, which is the fully assumptioned realm. And we've touched on this briefly, Portland, haven't we?
We have. I thought that there was a few other things that I could be doing. You know, Father, as I've been going through the different rigors, the different tutelage practices and practicum that you've given me, I've been wondering where should the direction that I should be going is one way, but I'm not going that way. And I'm really confused. I need direction so very bad.
That's right, Portland, and that's when you first came to me, I could tell that the first thing we needed to do was to get you onto our first level of awakening, which, as you know, is the Liftoff. Now, Portland, and for those that don't know anything about our 3 levels of awakening, the first level is the Liftoff.
The Liftoff.
And this is where we start to form our base of ascension to greater heights. And without direction, one cannot begin liftoff. So that is the first step.
We lift ourselves up. And when we're going up, we can feel this pulse, as Father was telling us earlier, go through us from the tips of our toes, up through the tips of our knees, and through the tips of our noses, and through the tips of our heads. That pulse goes through all of us. As we're lifting up, that pulse goes goes through.
Use your words, Portland.
It goes through us.
That's right. And the pulse is with all of us. It's within all of us, and it passes from each of us to our others. Whether that's a family member, whether that's a complete stranger, whether that's someone that has passed away from this earth and lives in a different realm, completely away from us, whether that's someone who has not yet been born. The awakening is it's a completion of all the energy and all the states of being into one, which is the fully awakened one.
Father told me this a few days ago. It's like a puzzle, and I'm a piece, and Father is a piece, and you are a piece.
And I saw you pointed at Guinevere over there. Guinevere is our assistant. Yeah.
She's a piece. She's a piece, and all of us, when connected to one another, we create a picture that's bigger
than the sum of each of our parts. And I see that Portland is experiencing certain manifestations of our first level of awakening. Now you can hear that he is experiencing this type of outburst. It's an emotional outburst. You see that the emotions of the human being, Portland, if you could step away from the mic. Portland is deep within the liftoff phase, and Portland has been working on this level of awakening for many months now, and he is close to reaching the second level of awakening. We will not go into that second level just quite yet. We'll keep touching on the first level, which is again the liftoff of awakening. And Portland, I see you've come back from your emotional outburst. We all know that this is a commonality of the first level of awakening. Portland, you can speak to that as you just went through an emotional outburst, a clearing of your body of those emotions.
And right now, Father, as you've told me in the past, and as what I've gone through in the past, is I'm so very cold right now.
Portland, as I've mentioned, part of that is because when you are emoting those very essential emotions of the human state, you tend to strip your clothing off. And right now, if you could put your sweatshirt back on, that would help with the temperature.
And
there you go.
It's just that so much of my energy was expelled. It's like I lit a fire, and that fire grew, and it was all-encompassing, and then right at the precipice, right when I had the most amount of energy,
yes,
just like that, you heard my finger snap, the flame was quenched, and now I don't have any energy, and I'm waiting for that next pulse wave to start up again and fill me with more energy.
That is correct, Portland, and as Portland just mentioned, his energy level that he had exhibited during his meditation within the liftoff phase of the awakening, he has now reached, as he mentioned, the pinnacle, where he can either stay where he is within the first phase of the awakening, or he can become more enlightened and move on to the second phase of the awakening.
But Father, you have to understand, I don't have any more tokens. I need more tokens to reach that next level. And I know that I've given you a bunch of my money. I know that I've given you a bunch of my funds and my American Mutual Foundation mutual funds, and my mother's maiden name and my social security numbers and my PIN passwords. How do I reach this next level, though? I don't know what else I can give you unless it's sexual.
Well, I'll tell you what, Portland, nothing is sexual here at the Center for Awakening, but what I can tell you is that when we come back from our first commercial break, we will delve deeper into what exactly is required for upping your pinnacle, as we call it, upping your level of awakening.
I just need more tokens.
Yeah, the tokens they're pretty crappy this month. Guinevere, let's have you lead us out into our first commercial. Guinevere is going to sing just a portion of one of our main meditation melodies, and these are just beautiful. Well, I'll let her get to it. Guinevere, why don't you come on in here? Okay. Let's have you sing just a sampling of our meditation melody here at the Center for Awakening with Dr. Charlie Doverfield. Oh, yeah. And welcome back to Meditation with Dr. Charlie Doverfield here at the Center for Awakening. We're glad to have all of you listeners here, and we're glad to have all those that have questions for us and feel like the awakening is something that they can have in their life as a new essential part of their life. But before we get to the callers, Portland and I would like to discuss the second level of the awakening, which is the second pinnacle, or the second orbit, the second realm of the awakening. And this is, of course, the outer orbit, the second level. And the outer orbit is where we ascend past the greater heights that we were hoping to achieve within the liftoff phase. And we go beyond. We've talked about the electronic connection, the pulse that we all share. We go beyond that connection and form a broader connection with not just those on Earth, but those in other galaxies and other solar systems elsewhere, and other souls and other beings elsewhere that we may not necessarily be able to see or talk to, but we feel as part of their larger family. Portland?
Father, before I was castrated, I thought that I had reached my apex. I really thought that I was going to live a normal life. I was going to have a child. I was going to have a family. I'd have the nice sports car, and I'd have the nice down payment on my house. But then, Father, after you spayed me, I thought something else. I thought that I should be moving in a new, and I'm spinning around in my chair right now, into
yes, you're doing quite the topsy-turvy movement there,
direction.
Portland.
I didn't want to go that way, and that's when I started realizing I need to go to this next level. And with enough tokens, I've been able to reach that next level a few times and know that there is a life out there other than the fancy car, other than the family, other than the kids, other than the good job, other than personal hygiene, other than, having a security account, other than having good tax receipts. I knew that there was another life outside of there. And I knew that because, 1, I was castrated, and 2, I went to the next level with the proper amount of tokens.
Yes, and you mentioned the first token that is part of the awakening realm is the removal of the human gender, as it's termed. This can be a removal in physical nature for some, like Portland here. There's a quick snip that occurs, and it can either be physical with the actual removing of genitals, which are unneeded in the awakening, but it can also be a complete removal of oneself from their identified gender. And Portland, Guinevere, when you first came in, the first thing you asked me, the first thing you asked me about Guinevere is why she didn't seem to connect or identify with her physical female attributes. The answer really surprised you, didn't it, Portland? Didn't it?
Father, I was confused at the beginning, but after you told me that she has ascended to this new level, everything just became so clear to me.
That's right, Portland. And Guinevere had already at that point ascended beyond the liftoff phase, and she was in outer orbit. And that's what we'd like to discuss a little bit now. Portland, you have been at the pinnacle of the liftoff, and just moments ago, you had an emotional outburst that put you at that pinnacle of the liftoff phase once again. And with the proper tokens that we exchanged during the commercial break, you have now entered the outer orbit level of the awakening. And I would like to congratulate you, and Guinevere would also like to congratulate you with one of her brief meditation melodies. Guinevere? Thank you, Guinevere. Nope, that's enough. Thank you, Guinevere. That was beautiful. I can't wait to get that on CD and cassette tape for all of our soon-to-be fans and followers to listen to. Portland, now that you are in the second realm of the awakening, you are in the outer orbit. What are you feeling? What are some of your experiences?
Whoa, it's like I've inhaled a whole bunch of helium. It's like I'm...
Well, that was the helium, the balloons that was helium, but what else besides that?
I'm seeing so many different things, a whole bunch of new colors I've never seen before, a whole bunch of numbers I've never thought of before.
We did just have the room painted this morning, so that's what the colors. But what else are you feeling?
I'm seeing myself. I'm looking down at the top of my head.
Yeah,
looking down.
That's a mirror in the corner. We just had that installed this afternoon as well.
And I'm looking at my hand, and it's like, that's not my hand. That's your hand.
You're holding my hand. So tell us about yourself, though, Portland.
It feels like I'm practically weightless at this point.
Yes, you're sitting on an exercise ball.
Whoa.
Portland, you're sitting on a new chair. It's an exercise ball. You remember when we went to the store and you said, "Oh, look at that ball. I want to sit on it."
It's like I can see you over there looking at my banking information, and you're going, and it's like you're transferring
Portland,
tokens
we don't need to
from one
discuss.
account to a new account. Oh.
Yeah. Portland, we don't... You're beyond that phase, remember?
That was absolutely amazing, Father.
Yes. Once you ascend beyond the liftoff phase, the filthy earthly draws, such as money and material wealth and a good paying job and a firm bank account and all the other things you were mentioning, tax receipts and whatever that swill was, we are beyond that level now. And once you are in the outer orbit, I welcome you to the outer orbit, we no longer need to care about the earlier phases of tokens that once preoccupied our minds and kept us from seeing past the pinnacle. Now that you're above the pinnacle,
Father,
you feel it.
Can I just give you everything that I have so that I can be at that level indefinitely? Can I give you more of my tokens? Can I give you my firstborn child? I don't even like the kid anymore. Can I give you more money?
Well, Portland, Portland, there's many things that you can do. And again, Portland is experiencing another emotional outburst. And this is also characteristic of one of the first sub-levels of the outer orbit. And Portland, I'd appreciate it if you could butch up right now. But yes, Portland just went through one of the first sub-levels of the outer orbit. And Portland, I know at this time tomorrow you would feel so much better, having donated multiple more tokens, which we'll discuss over the commercial break. And that will be just wonderful. Now, before we go to commercial break, I'd like to hear Guinevere come in once again and sing another portion of our meditation melody, which we will make available to those that wish to ascend to a higher level in due time, just like Portland reached the pinnacle of the first level in due time. Guinevere, why don't you come on in and we'll listen to this wonderful, beautiful melody. just lovely. Thank you so much, Guinevere. Okay, you're dismissed. Welcome back, everyone, to The Awakening, Meditation with Dr. Charlie Doverfield. I'm Dr. Charlie Doverfield, and I am broadcasting live here with my pupil, Portland Barry, and we are broadcasting from the Center for Awakening. And if you don't already know, if you missed the first two segments, we are all about becoming an awoken one. And we've already talked about the first two levels of our Awakening trilogy. The first of which is the Liftoff. And this is where we ascend to, or we aspire to ascend to greater heights of being, past our physical realm and into the sort of pulsing, electronic, otherworldly realm. The second level, of course, is the outer orbit, and I'm very happy to announce and to say that my star pupil, Portland Barry, here in the studio with me, has just recently reached the second orbit, or the outer orbit, which is the second part of the trilogy of the Awakening. Portland, tell us a little bit again about how you feel now that you've had the second orbit. You've been orbiting for a few moments now.
I'm so confused. I thought that I was in one orbit level, and I was in another, and then I saw you, then I saw a picture of you and my wife, and I wasn't quite sure because I've never seen that picture before. And I don't know what to do. I just want to get to the next level of awakening so I can be fully awoken.
That's right, Portland. We are all about becoming an awoken one here at the Center for Awakening. And in this third segment, we are going to discuss the finishing realm of our Awakening trilogy, which is the third level that very few have assumed. And this is called the super assumption. This is where we go beyond the realm of human... We've already gone beyond the realm of human physicality. We've gone beyond the realm of orbiting in a secondary nature, being one with electricity and other excuse me, my allergies are acting up. And being one with electricity, for instance, and other celestial bodies. And now we are ascending to a level...
Whoa, I think I understand what you're saying, Father.
Yes, Portland.
So electricity is not only in us, it's around us, but it's also us.
Yes,
I'm
Portland, yes.
in electricity. Father, if I give you enough tokens, what can I expect in the next level of being awokened?
When you are fully awokened in the third and final level of the trilogy of Awakening, the super assumption allows you to be fully one with everything. So now we are not only fully one with our physical bodies, we are not only fully one with other celestial bodies and other things of the universe that are yet undiscovered, we are fully one with everything and everyone, even those who have not yet been fully awoken. And when we are awoken as one, we become one with everything, Portland. And from your studies of the Awakening trilogy, I know that you had some brief excerpts that you wanted to discuss or ask questions or whatever it may be. Let's talk about those, Portland.
All right, Father, I have a couple of my favorite passages here from the Divine Orbit. And it's this one I have a question about. It's from Celestial Bodies Part 1. And
yes.
the phrase is this: Thou shalt not pass from this orbit to another without first paying thine tokens. Now, Father, my question is simple. If I want to get to the next level of being awoken, and I don't have any tokens, how do I get to that higher level? What do I need to do?
Well, Portland, as you know, the elders before us, and those that were awakened in the beginning, knew that the only way to achieve full awakening is not through tokens, but through a full understanding of what is to come in the next realm and what is to come within the next orbit of the Awakening trilogy. And so even if you don't have the full token amount that is usually needed to grant you passage past each pinnacle, you can be assumed into the next level if you have a above average, I hasten to use human terms, but if you have
Okay.
an above understanding of what the awakening is and what it does, if you have an above understanding of the realms that you hope to one day achieve, you can, on your own, sans token, achieve full awakening. Let's move on to your next passage that you wanted to discuss.
This one's another really tricky one because I'm really struggling. The divine
Yes.
orbit is filled with different sort of words and different numbers and pages that I'm just not used to. This one's coming from
Yes, well,
go ahead.
Portland, the numbers on the bottom of the pages let you know what page you're on. They're simply the page numbers.
This one's from Your Orbit and Yourself, Chapter 3. Never leave an orbit unless you have found your center. Well, Father, I've found my center. I know where it is. It's right here. It's right next to my belly button. Now where do I go? I found it. How come I can't get to this next level? You keep telling me that I'm not ready, but I know I'm ready. I know where my center is. I have enough tokens, and even if I don't have enough tokens, like I said, take my firstborn. I don't love him anymore. Take it from me. I want to get to that next level. Please, Father. I can't keep living like this. Look at me.
Now, Portland, we've discussed this many times over many campfires and shared meals. And as we've discussed, your emotation of a center in the physical realm is what keeps you within each orbit, within each level of the orbit. Now, I'm going to quote you from just moments ago. You said, my center is here, right next to my belly button. Well, if you were truly to become a fully awoken one, you remember you leave your humanly body behind. Therefore, you do not have a humanly bodily center, but moreover, you have a all-encompassing center with the universe and with others that have been awoken, and even with others that have never been awoken. Portland, what's your final question?
So this one also coming from the divine orbit.
It's all right, Portland. Just remember to breathe, Portland.
This one is coming from Chapter 5, from the passage Beyond the Divine Orbit, saying, no one else can find your dream center unless your energy is full. Father, I'm going to lay it down to you very straight. I lost my mother at a very young age, as you know. We've done a lot of different auditing sessions, and you know. She died.
Yes.
She had cancer of the brain, of the heart, of the skin, of the breast, of the labia, of the toe.
It was all over.
She died, and she left me. My dream is stuck in this orbit. I want to get to this orbit. I'm in this orbit, and this orbit is keeping me back. My energy is full. I want to move on. How do I do that? My dreams are my chains. Where's the key?
Portland, as you know, the key will always be and has always been in deep meditation. And again, here on The Awakening, meditation with Dr. Charlie Doverfield, meditation is the first and foremost point of all of the levels that we can achieve. Again, the liftoff, the outer orbit, and the super assumption. And to have dreams that are stuck within a given level, you must return to your foundling structures of meditation. Meditation. Yeah. What do I always say, Portland?
Meditation.
And once more meditation. And then when you think you're done, you go back once again for meditation.
Yeah,
it's on the front cover of my office.
I know.
Well, in the back of my office, as soon as I get it printed up. It's on the front of every one of our Center for Awakening centers. So, Portland, I suggest you and I advise you to return to the most basic form of meditation. And you know, we always have the help of people such as Guinevere, that can help bring you... Yes, thank you. You'll notice as Guinevere becomes more awoken, she starts to sound more like a fan oscillating, but that's because she rises level upon level since you've met her. Remember the first time you heard her? She sounded like this.
I remember, Father. I was like a child trapped in this adult's body. And I came to you, and I basically threw myself on your front doorstep, and I knocked on the door saying, I need help. Everyone turned me away. Everyone. The doctor's office, the church, the synagogue, the mosque, my psychiatrist office. Everyone said I was lost. You found me, Father. And I thank you for that so very much.
You are welcome, Portland. Here at The Awakening, meditation with Dr. Charlie Doverfield, we believe that everyone can achieve full awakening. Everyone can become an awoken one with the proper steps. And again, how do I say it? Meditation, meditation, meditation.
Father, can I ask you a question?
You can ask me a question when we come back from commercial break. All right? And we're going to have Guinevere finish up her meditation melody here. It's a lovely aria from Guinevere's own personal collection. And we'll be right back with The Awakening, meditation with Dr. Charlie Doverfield.
Yeah.
Just go to commercial.
Thank you, Guinevere, and welcome everyone back to The Awakening. This is meditation with Dr. Charlie Doverfield. Myself and my pupil, Portland Berry, are here coming to you live from the Center for Awakening, and we have just gotten done discussing the 3 levels of awakening, the trilogy of awakening, as we say. And what we're going to do now is discuss some of the most common questions of becoming an awoken one and the path that the awakening has for those new members, those new initiates. And Portland has a list of some of the FAQs, as it were, and some of the questions that are most common to the beginners of the Awakening trilogy. So Portland, let's discuss those.
Father, I just want to be awoken. I've been asleep for my entire life, and with your new program, with becoming an awoken one, I now see that, yeah, I've been asleep. Every time that I've looked into my wife's eyes, I've lied to her. Every time that I've looked into my child's eyes,
You've lied to it.
all right, I've lied to them because, honestly, looking at myself, I've been asleep. And now that you've shown me that I have been asleep, I need to start awokening myself. I need to start a brand new life. And
Yes.
one of the questions that I have is very simple. How do I deal with this newfound stress of knowing that, yeah, I've been asleep? I'm carrying that cross, that big 80 to 95 pound wooden cross, just like Jesus did. And that cross is I've been asleep and unaware. How do I bear that burden?
Yes, well, Portland, one of the things that many new initiates to the Awakening trilogy share is that feeling of, I've been awake for so long, how do I welcome in my, I've been asleep for so long, how do I now welcome in being awake and being on a higher plateau, a higher pinnacle of being? And one of the first things that you can do, of course, is you go to our first fundamental value of the Awakening trilogy, which again is meditation.
Right.
Through meditation, you can form a more connected orbit with yourself as your own being before you try to enter the first phase of the Awakening, which is the liftoff. The other thing that you can do, and this is often what most initiates find helpful, sort of as a catalyst to their further awakening, is to enter into the token giving. And now, Portland, one of the first things that you entered into was your token giving has been one of the most substantial and most helpful to the Center for Awakening here.
My kids, they don't have a college tuition account anymore. That's gone.
Yes, that's gone.
My retirement, my 401k, all of my mutual funds, my wife's mutual funds, everything I've pumped into becoming awakened, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Because now I know that I've been a bad person, and that's one of the things that you've taught me. I'm bad. I need to change. I need to motivate myself to become a new person. And I'm spitting. I'm sorry.
That's right, but the spit is another form of the human, the physical aspect leaving your body, leaving the shell that was once empty and void of meaning, and is now full of the elements of the Awakening trilogy that you welcome into your body, and you remove the previous filth elements that we do not need. And as you mentioned before, part of the way that you deal with the stress of knowing that you lived a filthy, empty, dirty piece of crap life is by donating your tokens and ridding yourself of that former material filth, the former wealth, as it were, and welcoming yourselves into the Center for Awakening by donating tokens. Next question.
Father, and you know that I've been in this cast now for about 2 weeks, and my leg has just been, my femur and the fibula
and the tibia, don't forget the tibia.
They were snapped. My kneecap became inverted on itself. I was trying to jump off my roof.
Yes.
A couple of weeks
ago. You were trying to shortcut to the next orbit.
I wanted to ascend to the next orbit. And excuse me for wanting to move on and get to that next level. I wanted to fly. And yes, I had been inhaling a whole slew of different chemicals. Paint thinner, helium, lacquer. Ew. And when I jumped off that roof, I felt like I was flying. But really, I was falling. Where is the disconnect? How come I didn't fly / ascend into the next level?
Yes, Portland. Well, as you know, in the Awakening, there are no shortcuts to the next level. There are no shortcuts to the first, the second, or the third rung of the trilogy of the Awakening. And when you used your physical body to try to ascend to the first level of the Awakening, the liftoff, you were taking the liftoff as a literal meaning, as opposed to understanding the deeper truth behind the liftoff, weren't you?
I feel so completely stupid.
Yes, you were a very bad boy. But, Portland, with all of those in the Awakening, once they recenter, as we talked about before, the center, and once they find their center and return to their simple meditation principles, they can then begin to ascend in an awakening form as opposed to a physical, human-dominated form, which can only lead to destruction and, in terms of physical harm, lead to broken bones and broken thoughts and broken spirits. Isn't that right, Portland?
Yeah, that's so right. And I feel just like, wow, Father is telling me the right way, and I went against you. Father, please forgive me for what I have done to you.
Well, Portland, I would love to forgive you, but first you have to forgive yourself. Here at the Center for Awakening, we believe that the awakening and meditation with myself, Dr. Charlie Doverfield, is all about reconciling what you've done in a filthy life and becoming part of an awoken life. Now, Guinevere, I understand that we have a phone-in caller who has some questions for us. Is that correct?
Yeah, he's on the line here.
Okay, let's bring this caller on. I'm not sure who this is, but we welcome anyone and everyone who wants to be awoken. Hello, caller.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about my new product for dandruff control. It's called Totally Flake. You see, having a dry scalp can lead to having dandruff, and dandruff is a big problem. So with Totally Flake, your scalp is completely hydrated. It gets all of the flakes out of the system, and your hair feels rejuvenated. It's a completely great thing to have. It's called Totally Flake. So
Well,
if any
thank
of
you for your call. Hang up on it. Thank you for your call. Guinevere, when I ask you to screen calls, you have to make sure to screen them. Remember what happened the first time we went through this? You were in the hospital for 3 weeks following a non-screen call, weren't you? Yes, and that beautiful singing voice that you just demonstrated for us during those 3-week hospital stay. What did that sound like when you were in the hospital after there was a jugular punch by myself? You sounded like what was it? So we don't want to return to that now, do we, Genevieve? Portland, I understand there's one more question. What? Yeah.
Father, this one's kind of personal, and I don't know if I should be saying it to
Remember,
you.
at the awakening, at anything and everything is for the good of all.
It's just that when I look at my kids, when I look at my wife, and I look at my parents and my grandparents, God, thank you so much for having them be in my life, but it feels like they are holding me back. Like I'm tethered to them. I want to get to this next level where I can just jettison up into the next orbit, but it's like these covalent bonds are keeping me close to the nucleus. How do I break those bonds?
Well, again, Portland, you're returning to a type of analogy that is in the physical realm of our human understanding of chemistry. When you mention covalent bonds and nuclei and nuclei. Is that right, Guinevere?
Yeah, something like that.
So anyways, remember, what do I always say? Tell me what I always say.
Meditation.
And remember, if you return to your meditation, you'll find your center in meditation. Meditation. So what is the answer? No, it's over.
It's over.
Portland. Our
saying is over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So Portland, what is the answer that you seek?
I just want to know, how do
what was the answer? We just said the answer.
Yeah, it was meditate, but I'm just trying to figure out, how do I meditate with the job, with the kids, with the soccer practice, with trying to find time to make whoopee with my wife, trying to make dinner, trying to go to church, trying to give back to my community. I want to do those things, kinda, but I also want to ascend, and you can't ascend if you got all this extra baggage.
Well, the other thing that we like to say here at the Center for Awakening is that one-time meditation per day keeps the previous pinnacle away. So,
That's
Portland, if you remember to just meditate just once per day, you can continue to ascend slowly, if surely, to the next level. And again, you are in the outer orbit, which is our second level of the Awakening Trilogy. And as you continue to donate tokens and things of this nature, you will soon enter the final scepter of the Awakening Trilogy. So
yeah, that's right. I just want to know how to meditate, and I guess that
yes. Well, I'll tell you what, Portland. On our next session of the Awakening meditation with Dr. Charlie Doverfield, we will make sure to touch on the aspects of meditation and what goes into a proper meditation and what goes herein and thereof meditation as part of the awakening. How does that sound, Portland? Does that sound good?
Father, I'm kissing your feet. I'm kissing your knees. And your nice, juicy, cat-like tongue. I'm
But
kissing
remember,
all of it.
we're leaving
I'm
the physical
thanking
realm.
you for what you've given me, Father. And I'm on my knees right now, looking up and just grabbing at your sides. Thank you.
Well, Portland, we certainly understand that your love for the awakening and your love for your teacher, as well as your wife and children, really shines through, even though you are on the path to awakening. And as one of my famous colleagues once stated, that through meditation, ain't love grand? And with meditation, we can become fully awoken, fully aware of everything that is around us. And that comes from, what is the reading, the proverb that emanates from again, Portland?
Celestial Bodies and Yourself, Chapter 4, Passage 3, Section 2, Article 1. I know.
Page
433. Yeah, I know.
Yes. Thank you, Portland. Well, from all of us here at the Center for Awakening, Portland Barry, my pupil, my assistant
I'm
Gwenevere,
still confused.
Yep, you'll be that way for a long time, I can tell. And as always, I'm Dr. Charlie Doverfield, and thank you for listening to The Awakening Meditation with Dr. Charlie Doverfield. Gwenevere, how about you leave us with a wonderful sonata of sorts in the meditation melodies?